Okay, so we need to update our character model. I want to get a wingsuit in there so people know that this is going to be about wingsuits. And again, we're focusing on wingsuit first. We'll do Skydive character probably next. And it's kind of cool. You can get a good side view of him jumping and stuff. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and work on finding a character model. All right, so doing some research on the type of wingsuits. Looks like these are more beginner student wingsuits, and then they get wider. So this is like 50 plus jumps, 75 plus wingsuit jumps. So I think I want a wingsuit more like this than a beginner one, just because it's more fun to fly something more advanced. This is kind of an idea of what, realistic wingsuits would look like. This is a good one here. So I kind of want something like this. So first I was searching the Unity asset store, because why not? If we could buy something that's all set up, all rigged, just import the package, that'd be great. So these are our options. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4. And looking at each one, yeah, this one's pretty cool, but it's not quite it. The character model just not the greatest. I think this is too flimsy in real life. He doesn't have his legs bent that much. And so that's that one. Then we have this one, which I think these models got like a lot of cool animations and stuff. But I think the models are a little too basic. The wingsuits aren't realistic enough. So not that one. Next up we got this one. This one's not too bad, but again, I think it's not quite realistic enough. The the animations on the wing are a little too floppy. So then I searched CG Trader here, which sells 3D models. This one was looking pretty enticing. The only problem, he doesn't have any hands or feet, but he's got a cool helmet. Um, it looks low poly enough, so it's not super high poly, which we need, especially for the meta quest. We can't render too many polygons. Again, it's not quite the wingsuit model we were looking at here. It looks like more the beginner one. Oh, then we got this one. I like this one too. It's like he comes with some kind of backpack and jetpack too. And again, it looks like more a beginner wingsuit. More like this one or this one. But he's got hands. He's got feet. So this might be my next favorite. Next up, I think this one might be my favorite and most accurate looking. Again, it's the most expensive, $100. This might be what I end up going with. Very realistic. It's the type of wingsuit we want that looks like this and this. He's got a good harness. He's got feet. He doesn't have hands, so I'd have to add in some hands to the model or some gloves. His helmet is a little too high polygon, but the wingsuit looks doable. We might be able to reduce some of those polygons in like Blender, but for the most part, that's fairly low poly for a character. But the suit and the harness could be usable. So yeah, those are kind of our options. I'll think about it here, and then we'll see which one I go with next. All right, after a good dinner break, got some tacos, decided to purchase the model. And $120 later, we got this guy here. Seems like a pretty good model. I figure, hiring a 3D artist and all that jazz will cost well more than $120. So hopefully that's a good investment. Hopefully we can make our money back here. Actually get a Wingsuit game release, but yeah, I think he's got pretty realistic textures. Let's go ahead and look at the polygon count. Right now we're at 115 triangles, which is a little high. Let's try getting rid of the helmet, because this helmet's pretty high poly. So yeah, just getting rid of the helmet drops to 56,000. Just still a little high, but I mean, for distance, we'll probably just disable the harness. Let's see if we disable the harness. Okay, that's the shoes. So yeah, so 22,000 without the harness. So yeah, we'll just have to figure out how to add the hands and maybe extend the neck a little bit and probably use a separate helmet. So I brought him into my glider sim character, who's all rigged, matched him up, and yeah, it's gonna be some work. I think I'm gonna cut the hands from the character and try to put him on this mesh, so it's all one mesh. So I was able to reduce the polygon count in half by using the decimate modifier. And I'm just going to make some modifications to the mesh, cut out areas we don't need. I know like the hands are going to go here, so we'll delete these faces. So I was able to cut off the hand of the character model, my old character model from Glider Sim, and plop it here. Now I just have to mirror it so it's on this side as well. I applied the hands to combine them into one mesh here, which is important. So we have one draw call, but now the hands turn green because it's using one material. So we'll have to figure out how to get the hand material printed onto this texture. I've got the hands textured and UV unwrapped using the same material, so now I should be able to join both. Okay, there we go. We now have hands, and the object is one mesh. Around 12,000 triangles with the hands included. All right, it's the next day. So I was thinking I should include the helmet with the character all in the same model, so we can render the character all in one draw call and not have it separate draw calls for the helmet. The helmet he came with is too high polygons. If you notice here, it's got 33,000 triangles. Our character alone is like, near 10,000. So 33,000 is just ridiculous. I tried reducing the polygon count, but it just wasn't looking good. So I ended up just modeling my own helmet. It's really simple, but it's only less than 1,000 triangles. So I think it'll do. I also added a neck to the character, or at least this black thing here, so at least there's something there. Okay, so next step, I'm just going to combine the helmet to the main character, and if you see the material here, The skydiving character contains one mesh, one material. We're able to get one draw call, so we can have many of these guys in multiplayer and not really impact performance at all. And I think once we throw the shading into Unity too, I think it's going to look quite a bit better. We'll have some reflections or whatnot that are not being shown here. But all right, now I got to think about rigging the character with the bones. So actually, before I get into adding the skeleton and bones, I noticed this harness. Half of it is invisible here at the leg straps. So I think I'm just gonna delete this bottom leg straps part. All right, so thinking about this harness is a little too high polygon. We can't. We got to have the character be less than like 20,000 polygons. So I decided to bake the harness into the mesh, which seems to work. If we take a look at the Photoshop file, we could see I just added the harness to the texture, and bada bing, bada boom. We have 0 more polygons or triangles, and our character is still around 12,000 triangles, which is doable. Still a little high, but yeah, I might see if I can edit this mesh a little bit so this backpack sticks out a little more. So like this, should be able to spin the backpack out. All right, we have our whole wingsuit character about done now. We have hands, helmet, backpack, strap, all within the 12,000 triangle range. So hopefully this will work. Next is the part I forget how to do, which is the skeleton and the bones and rigging it all up. Bro, I'll tell you, rigging a character is a pain in the butt cheeks. Like, I have to move all of these joints into place for every finger, and you can see the skeleton here. Hopefully this is gonna work. Yeah, this is why buying a pre-made asset on the asset store that's already rigged, so you don't have to manually do all this, it's usually worth it. But we couldn't find any good wingsuit characters, so I have to go the manual route, do all this extra work to get this character working. All right, so I got like a rig working and imported into Unity, but you notice this long hierarchy here. I was just following the instructions. I asked Claude, the AI, to give me instructions, and I tried doing this generate the rig, and it looks like it spits out that method generates too long of a hierarchy for the bones for some reason. So anyways, I asked it to not use that specific tool, which was the Rigify tool in Blender, but just do it the old-fashioned way. And I think I got the old-fashioned way working now, where I can just have the normal amount of bones and the normal bone layout hierarchy, and this should work. I should be able to export this into Unity now, and hopefully that'll work. Okay, yeah, so imported into Unity, and I applied the material to it, and seems to work good. For the most part, able to move the legs, the leg bones, the hip bones, Well, everything seems to be working. So I've attached the model now to the character. And here he is. We can move. Of course, nothing's animated with the skeleton or bones yet, but nonetheless, we could get a kind of an idea of what it looks like with an actual model in place. So now people will actually see a wingsuit in the game, which is awesome. I might spend a little time adding a normal map to the model and maybe some reflections on the helmet, just sprucing up the material a little bit. So just taking another look at the files that the 3D model came with. It looks like it came with the Photoshop file, which is nice. So I can easily change the base color here if we wanted to have different colors for our wingsuit. I should be able to generate a nice normal map now that I'm able to deactivate that green. So to generate the normal maps, I use this cool online tool. It's called Normal Map Online. And you could, move all these sliders to get what you want. Mainly want to get those details on the suit, like the stitches and the different pockets in the backpack or whatnot. So save the normal map off, importing it into Unity, apply as a normal map, and then take our material and drag in the normal map. I guess we could kind of see if we increase the value to 10, which makes me think I need to edit the normal map again to make it a little stronger. Alright, so just kind of finalize the texture here. I darkened the color of the green a little bit more, and it kind of brings out the normal map a little better. Also added some reflections to the helmet and changed the color of his visor glass on the helmet, which I think looks pretty cool. But yeah, looking good. The next part would be animating the character so he runs on takeoff or whatnot. But I think this is a good stopping point. But yeah, kind of see the process of creating a character, creating a 3D model, or at least finding one online and doing all the modifications necessary to get it into Unity. Yeah, that whole rigging the character process was quite a challenge. We have them all rigged, the bones and the skeleton, so next would be just applying the animations. So yeah, this will be all for this devlog. I think, yep, the next one, perhaps animate him. Maybe we'll figure out a way to have some effects on the wingsuit so it looks like it's flapping in the wind. Maybe we could do that with a shader or something. That might be a little tricky. But very cool to see an actual wingsuit in the game now, instead of that silly robot character. So yeah, we'll all see you in the next devlog as we continue the development of creating a wingsuit game, a wingsuit skydiving simulator in the Unity game engine. And we'll just crash here. Your freedom. Cool. See y'all next time.